Where do we really live? Are we part of a colonization system that has existed for a very long time? And if so, what truly happened to the humanity of the past? If our past is a story invented to fit the mold of the world they built around us, then in what other matters have we been deceived? Perhaps history is not a sequence of events, but a carefully programmed structure. A closed circuit where the same errors, names and symbols are repeated under new disguises. A machine so ancient that no one remembers its origin, and so perfect that even human thought often works in its favor. We were taught to believe that we live in a free world, that we choose, that we decide. But the freedom we were offered is bounded by the geometry of the invisible dome projector, by the ice walls that separate us from the true horizon, and by a history meticulously woven to make us feel like the first, when in truth we are merely the 8th humanity after the resets. Each of those humanities was instructed to forget, to build temples upon the foundations of cities that had once been greater, wiser, more connected to the divine. Each reset brought new books, new names, new versions of the same deception. And what we call progress may be nothing more than a partial reconstruction over the ruins of a vaster world. We were told that the sky is infinite, and that what we see above are stars at an impossible distance. But the sky is not what it seems. It is a projection, a work of ancestral engineering designed to distract our gaze from the ground, from the origin, from the foundations where the footprints of giants still rest, and where the sealed doors of buried cities sleep beneath the mud. All of it meant to deepen our sense of emptiness and insignificance. Humanity lives under a script. The custodians, masters of language, emotion and form, wrote that script on multiple levels, but they sealed the system in 3: mind, earth, and the sky. They rewrote history, altered words, and programmed the light we see above us. And with that, they altered our perception of the real. For when language changes, memory changes. When memory changes, meaning changes. And when meaning disappears, we are disconnected from the source, from the soul, from the celestial lands. The first human beings of the new cycle, those born after the Great Reset of 1728, were readapted to their environment. They did not inherit books, but impositions. They did not inherit history, but revised versions written by the colonizers. The temples that once belonged to the previous humanity were renamed, their sculptures reinterpreted, their symbols emptied of power. They were turned into myths and myths into science. We were taught to look to the sky for answers, while the truth sank beneath our feet. But the mud does not forget. The water that once covered the temples still whispers through the stones, the names the custodians tried to erase forever. The cities buried beneath our own, the sealed doors 3 meters above the ground, the tunnels of a past that was never primitive. All of these are testimony to a reality that still resists and can still be seen around us. A few began to hear what the mental noise tried to silence. They learned to look without formulas, to think without permission, to remember without books. They discovered that the official history is nothing more than a mathematical formula designed to control collective perception, and that the true purpose of existence is not found in the false skies, but in the inner silence, the true source, and its connection to the celestial lands. For that, it is vital to remember who we were, to remember the ancestral lands beyond the ice, to remember the first humanity that walked beside the Creator Masters before the colonizers set foot upon these lands and turned them into a prison. And just as great Tartaria was forged in the days when the colonizers fought among themselves, so it shall be again, so that the true purpose may be revealed.